Okay guys and gals, this is the 5th video in how to build a reloading bench. So at the end of the last video, after I paused it, I went ahead and attached the back supporting 2x4 where I needed to attach it, and then resting this down, I went ahead and I fastened it down with 1.5-inch wood screws. Then what I did, after I determined the height of my bench, I went ahead and I cut 4 2x4s to the same length. The first 2x4 I attached here. Alright, the second 2x4 I attached here. The third one I attached there, and the fourth one I attached behind this leg. What I did on the back two is I only needed 1 screw because they're not real long, so you don't need to go too heavy on the back screws, right? So now let me give you a little bit of advice. If you can cut your 2x4s, these backing 2x4s and the front 2x4s to perfect length, like if you have a table saw, it doesn't matter how many you mount against this wall under this 2x4 for extra support. However, if you're doing it like me, I'm just using a handsaw, then I would advise only 2 blocks, and here's why. If you put 3 in there, you're going to have an odd one out every time. So it's really going to work against you. Therefore, if you just have 2, it's not going to be perfectly level, but you can cut them pretty doggone close to where once that back 2x4 rests on these, it's flat against both the blocks, and now you have the strength where you want it. So I wouldn't go with 3 blocks. Just 2 good blocks is all you need. You're not going to put 1,000,000 pounds. You just want it sturdy. And then likewise with the front. Just 1 on each end. So now you see I have the center leg in. I didn't put this center leg in until I had this 2x4 fastened with the carriage bolts in place. So this 2x4, let me tell you, this is really important. I'm going to give you a hint here, a hint and trick, right? That's what I'm about, on putting this together so it has a little pressure in it and it pulls it all together, okay? So what I did is I took this 2x4 before there was any holes drilled in it, and I brought it up to rest. I just leaned it here. I had my center marked from this inside leg to that inside leg, and I put it dead center, and then I took my digital level and I set it perfectly to 90 degrees, and I took a pin and I marked the 3 holes where I wanted to drill. Then I took the 2x4 and I drilled the holes. Then I brought the 2x4 back into place. With putting this at perfectly 90, okay, here's your trick. Before you drill the hole through this into this 2x4, I kind of cantered it off about 3 degrees and brought it down towards touching the floor, and then I drilled that hole. So now it's off by 3 degrees and I drilled the hole and it's touching the floor. So then what I did, think about this. Then I tapped this into place until this red 90 with the pressure on that carriage bolt. And what it does is it puts a little pressure on this 2x4, just enough that now this leg is firmly against that ground, and it just puts pressure on everything. So now when I put my tops on, it'll still be level, and it works really good. I've built a lot of these benches, more than a dozen or so in my life, more than that. In my father's shop, when he was an upholsterer, we always built benches from time to time, so that's a good idea. So now I'm going to go ahead and drill this hole, and now you guys can see why you wouldn't want me instructing anything but hand loading, right? So I'm going to go ahead and drill this hole. Okay, so where's my hardware, guys? See, it just doesn't happen to you, it happens to me too. So somewhere here I have some hardware. Now guys, make sure your safety glasses are on, right? These are total safety rated, so I live in these. Go ahead and run your carriage bolt through. This is how I do all of these. 3.5 inch carriage bolt is ideal length for me. Reach around, pull the splintered wood off the back. You're going to put your flat washer, just like your shell plate, right? Your lock washer, and then your 5/16 nut. You can have a nut like me, right guys? Run it up there. Take your ratchet, drive her to town. Ratchet away. So there we go. Now I have my bottom shelf, my middle shelf. They're all attached to the wall. I got a 24-inch deep shelf. The back 2x4 support system links all the way back to the concrete in the garage. So that's ideal. And what that concrete does is it sets it up to where you can clean under the bench and store under there. So now we're ready to go ahead and put our top on, and we're going to be done after that, but that's going to be a separate video. So this is the end of the 5th video. I'll see you guys on the 6th. Thank you.